Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm definitely feeling better. I got back to work last night, which was great. Felt really good getting back into the swing of things. I'm glad, I am so glad that I took those few days to give my legs opportunity to rest and relax and to heal, basically. Yeah, they definitely needed that that time. 'Cause I did a lot better with work last night and so forth. So, and my yoga was better this morning. I just got done with it and everything. And but yeah, it's great. I did get some pictures and video of Little Miss Possum this morning. She's been coming out from up underneath the bed more and more. Poor thing. I know. I'll admit, I was a little worried about leaving her home alone, but she had the one night, and I'm just like, look, baby, if we want to continue to have some place to live, I got to get back to work. So, um, but yeah, it worked out really, really good last night, and I was in hopes that would because I got started a little bit earlier with work and then what I usually do is I was in hopes that I could finish early and get done before grocery stores close, but didn't work out. Did run into a couple of issues, especially with the last delivery that I did. It was like that poor guy; he was just completely lost with where I was dropping off at one of the strip properties, and he was just completely lost with where to meet me. It was just like, okay. So by the time everything was said and done, stores were closed. There's one chain that is open 24 hours, but there are kind of few. There's only three locations. They're kind of few and far between, scattered. And it was just like, oh, forget it. And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna flip this script, and instead of being feeling all I don't want to say all, but a little frustrated because I'm sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting for this guy, and he's trying to ask me for directions. I don't know. I don't go down to the strip anymore. I mean, it's especially that property in particular. I think it's been almost 20 years since I've even been inside that property. So, no, actually, I was there 2008. That was the last time I was actually inside that particular property. So I have no idea how to maneuver or anything. And I'm just like, look, there should be signs. There's, ask somebody, this and that. Oh, but instead of, staying in um, uh, that level, just I decided, you know what, I'm gonna flip this and up it a little bit, and I decided there's actually a couple of Thai restaurants that I had done deliveries out of that I'm like, you know what, that sounds really good because I was kind of craving some Asian food anyway. So I'm like, So I decided to go to the one, and I was shocked they had Mongolian on the menu, and it's been years since I've had Mongolian, and I'm like, and then they had sticky rice on top of it. I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. And I've had different variations of Mongolian, and this one was definitely a little bit different also. But oh, it was scrumptious, very good. I've got, of course, leftovers for my breakfast brunch, basically. This thing's how I don't eat breakfast. Um, but yeah, I just can't eat first thing in the morning anymore. I haven't been able to for years. It just upsets my stomach too much. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have some of that for my brunch, basically. And I think I've got like enough for one more meal. But tonight, hopefully, fingers crossed. Either way, I'm gonna have to go, and even if it's after hours, I'm gonna have to go and get something. Either that, or I know I've seen that Applebee's is running a special any burger at Tuesdays only for a limited time. I don't remember when the cutoff date is. Um, but there, you can get any burger for $9.99. So it's like, that doesn't sound too bad. A burger for dinner, especially from Applebee's. So I don't know. I'll have to see where I'm at with everything. Yeah, that's one thing about the work that I do. In case you don't know, I used to be a rideshare driver, but I've been dealing with respiratory issues for the last couple of years due to a virus that I had. No idea what it was, but it left me with respiratory issues. So I've been making improvements slowly. I've been figuring things out on my own. Unfortunately, modern medicine hasn't really been very helpful. But anyway, so yeah, because of those issues, I've had to switch over to doing deliveries because of all of the aromas, like people wearing perfumes, colognes, laundry detergents, fabric softeners, or smoking just before getting it into the car. So, of course, all that tobacco smell is still on them. Vaping, that can be a bit of an issue. Oh, excuse me, as well. Yeah, just all those different aromas. It's especially with having to have the car closed up, with it being in the middle of summer, and because you have to have the AC on and everything. I couldn't handle it anymore. So I switched over to doing deliveries. Even some food aromas can kind of irritate things. What will wind up happening is it's basically uh, it's kind of goes two different names: airway disease slash pre-asthma. So yeah, what winds up happening is it just tightens everything up, all those airways in there. It just gets really tightened up. So and unfortunately, I was on an inhaler, and or at least we tried it. No, too many bad side effects, including cramping in and I'm talking serious cramping in my legs and feet. So yeah, that's kind of uh, the reason why I switched over to doing deliveries. And like I was saying, even some foods, the aromas from some foods will even irritate, but at least with that I can open up the windows, because I'm by myself, and and I've lived here in the desert for 20 years, so it's like the heat really actually I enjoy the heat. And even sometimes temperature fluctuations, like if it's getting too cold or something, or if I'm in air conditioning that's too cold or something like that, or like when I was having to have a fan on before, that would even irritate. So yeah, it's just it's something I'm working through and everything. One thing that has definitely helped is doing the yoga, targeting stretches that helps stretch all these muscles out, stretch out those airways and so forth. So, and I've just got started back to doing that again this week. Now that I'm through the move. So, but yeah, that has definitely helped me out quite a bit. And like I was saying yesterday, with the video, when it comes to doing yoga stretches, there's the traditional ways, of being able to do stretches. But there's nothing set in stone saying that, oh, you must do it this way or what have you. Yes, you want to make sure that you're doing your stretches so that way you're not hurting yourself. But if you need to make changes to those stretches, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. I also enjoy doing yoga because it helps get all the kinks out, especially after work and so forth. I don't do any of my stretches after work. I gotta let my body rest and relax overnight. But first thing in the morning, get up and just do some stretches and oh, it just feels so good getting all those kinks back out and everything. I always start off, but before I do my stretches, well, the very first thing I do after I go through my morning routine is scrolling through my of doing things on my tablet, checking my social media, emails, watching a couple of spiritual gurus. Basically, they do tarot readings, so I like to watch their morning messages and so forth. But after that, after going through all of that, what I usually do is take the covers and throw them off of me, and I do a gratitude session. Go through listing all the things that I'm grateful for: having a roof over my head, food on the table, having a job, being able to work, so on and so forth. I like being able to do that. Actually, the very first thing I do, very first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I look out the window, always make sure I have my any sort of window coverings I have um, um, on them. I have them open at least a little bit so I can look outside and see that sky, see that sun out there, even if it's cloudy out. Just see the daylight, and tell myself it's a new day, new beginning. Okay, then of course I go through everything, do the gratitude, and I do the gratitude session, listing anything and everything I can think of that I'm grateful for. And then I start doing I do a little bit of a yoga thing that I have to do laying on your back. And then I do that, and then that's after that. Of course, make the bed, change my clothes, all that sort of good stuff. But then that's when I do my yoga. And before, the very first thing that I do, actually. Um, Well, yeah. Well, always start my yoga session. I start and end my yoga session doing the same thing. I start it with being in mountain pose, okay? And basically taking my hands and going up. And I know you can't really see, and I can't really position the tablet, but basically, going up with both of my hands and bringing them down right to here, and breathe in, breathe out, and basically what I'm saying, it's telling myself in my head, and I always face east when I do this. East being the position of new beginnings. Okay, so I always bring in. Um, I know I'm so used to doing this, trying to remember exactly what I do, or what I tell myself. Oh, I bring in brightness, beauty, and positivity of the morning sun, and bring it into my true self. I do that 5 times at the start, okay, and then at the end I change it, and I bring in the love, light, beauty, and positivity of divine light, and bring it into my true self. And then I do, of course, in between, I'm doing my yoga stretches. But after I basically express my, bring in all that beautiful energy from the divine, then I just stand there in a mountain pose with my hands just like this together, okay? Breathing in regular, and I do say my thanks. Basically, do my morning prayer to the divine. So, expressing my gratitude, saying my thanks, so on and so forth. My appreciation and everything, and of course, I always make sure that I include thank you for helping me with work. Thank you for helping me with my challenges. And of course, I'm always saying thank you throughout the day, and so on and so forth too. It just kind of helps to set you in a good mindset. Not just helping you to work out all those kinks out of your body. Yeah, that's very, very important, and it also helps to energize you. But it also just helps to set the day a little bit. And you don't have to go through that extreme with it. Some people, I can't think of her name. I read that pretty much does a morning meditation for about 20 minutes every morning. I don't remember her name. I think she's on the Today Show. Um, She battled cancer. I know that. But anyway, she's she does that. She kind of has the same morning routine. She gets up, does a little bit, then she does a 20-minute morning session, then finishes, then goes to work and everything. And basically, she doesn't eat breakfast either. That's the thing I remember most. Aside from, it's our we both have very similar morning routines. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I'm doing something right here. It doesn't, and it's not about affirmations or anything, making sure, oh, am I doing this right or what? It isn't anything like that. It's just like, oh, interesting, that somebody would basically pretty much have kind of the same morning routine as what I do. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, and like I said, you don't necessarily have to do like a 20-minute meditation. You don't have to do I usually spend about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes doing my full yoga session. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling and so forth. But yeah, you can just do 10 minutes. You can do 5 minutes. Just do, even if it's just do a morning meditation. Just you don't even have to get out of bed. Just take the covers, throw them off of you, and just lay there, and just calm your brain. Have no digital, no music or anything. Just you yourself and yourself. Me myself instead of me myself and I. I'm trying to think you yourself and yourself. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, you can just do, just you and your thoughts. Okay, just being present. That's all you have to do. It's 5 minutes just being present, and you'll find how amazing it really can be. You really can. And if you have, like family or roommates or whatever, just let everybody know. Don't, if you have to, close the bedroom door, put a sign on the door even, just to let everybody know, keep out. This is my me time, I realize it can be a little bit difficult with toddlers, if you have toddlers. But and especially and of course, if you try and lock the door, they'll probably be pounding on the door or what have you. But just to if need be, just kind of or sit them down and say, hey, mommy is gonna just do this 5 minutes, just this short time or whatever. If you can, invite them in, lay them down on the bed, and be like, okay, shh, this is going to be quiet time for just a little bit, okay? And you do the same thing. You just have some quiet time too. Just something to think about. I know it can be difficult to do. When you have, oh, excuse me, little ones and family and so on and so forth. But it's all important. You got to take care of you too. And unfortunately, we don't put we put a lot of emphasis on take care of our bodies, but we don't put a whole lot of emphasis of taking care of our minds. And just that 5 minutes can be a world of difference, especially first thing in the morning, because it's like, you wake up, and especially if you're having to be jolted out of bed or something like that, with running around this and that and everything, just that 5 minutes is really all that you really, really need. It can make a world of difference in your day, because then that way, as you go throughout the day, you can have something to reflect back onto when things start getting crazy hectic. Okay, so just try it. Just try it. Yeah, I'll admit I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position where I can do the yoga and so forth. But if you can just take that 5 minutes first thing in the morning, just set that aside somehow, some way, I bet you it'll make a world of difference for you. Okay, something to think about. All right. Okay, so I know I've got things that I need to do and everything. And oh, that was the other thing that I was going to mention too, kind of along the same lines of what we were talking about. Actually, it is along the same line, especially with flipping the script thing. There's an account that I follow um, up on Facebook. I used to be up on Facebook a lot more, but I really haven't been all that much over the last year or two. But here lately, I've been getting some messages that have been coming through on my notifications from this one account that I follow. It's I think it's Pro Source Messages, if I remember correctly, or maybe it's just Source Messages. I don't remember. It's one or the other. But basically, all their messages has a look of like an eclipse or something in the background, and then it has like today's message on there. It's one of those sorts of things anyway. But today's message, and they always use the same background, so you don't have to worry about wondering if you're on the right page or not. But with today's message, definitely go check it out, because it definitely talks about flipping that script. Instead of, well, basically with changing your mindset, instead of looking at something as, oh, I have to do this, look at it as, I get to do this. Great mindset to think about. And it definitely relates to me, because I'll admit I'm in a job that I get very frustrated with it. It obviously it's not my dream job. I did not go to school, get to two bachelor's degrees to be a delivery driver. I don't think being a delivery driver requires having two bachelor's degrees. No, but I know that this is something that's temporary, and seeing that today, it's like, yeah, that's very true, because I know where I'm heading. I know the direction that I'm heading. Yeah, I'll be using skills that I acquired from those two bachelor's degrees, but I know I'm definitely going in a different direction than what those career paths um, took me. I definitely am still dead set on becoming a yoga instructor. I've seen how beneficial it is, especially with everything that I've been through physically over the years. And yeah, and I really want to be able to focus more on a physical. Yeah, I want to focus on the meditation part, but I really want to be able to help people who are dealing with, who are struggling, especially people who are struggling with physical disabilities, um, to be able to help them get to maybe a better place. Whether they're, getting physical therapy or not, like for instance, senior citizens who have joint issues, mobility issues, things like that. So that's or people who have been in car accidents or what have you. um, that's definitely what I want to uh, be able to focus on, and especially, of course, the chest issues. Because I have ran into people who either had COVID or they suspect they had COVID and wound up with permanent issues, just like with myself. And now that I have found at least something that helps, I definitely want to pass that along and help people with that. So, because I understand the struggles, and if we can help each other out, then so much the better. So anyway, um, yeah, I think that's what I have for you. And I did. I don't know if I don't remember. See, I start rambling. I don't remember what I'm talking about half the time, but I did get some pictures and some video. Yeah, I did mention that. That's right, of Miss Possum this morning. So if you want to go check that out, I got it both on the YouTube channel, the video, in the video section, and the pictures are in the community section, or you can just head over to the blog. It's all right there. Actually, if you head over to the blog, it's better because YouTube only lets you post so many. I think it's what, 5 pictures for a post, whereas I actually got more pictures even, and I put them in the post over there on the blog. So head on over there if you want to check out even more pictures of her. It's all in one post. So, anywho, yeah, I know. Lots to talk about and everything. I am super excited about everything, this path that I'm going down now. Very, very super excited about it. So, anywho, and I also noticed that I now have 98 subscribers. So, thank you guys. I really appreciate 2 more, and we're going to be able to uh, hit that century mark. I know, 2 more. It's like, hey, something to celebrate. It's awesome. I love you guys. Welcome, by the way. I love you. So, anywho, I hope you all have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. All right? Love you guys.